The adventure continues this week on Ford Outfitters.
It was really cool for me because I've harvested hogs in Florida, Georgia, Texas. I've shot them in Louisiana, California. So I've had some experience hunting hogs in different states, but I'd never hunted one in Alabama.
If that crazy thing comes back, that'll be the wildest thing I've ever seen.
4 expert sportsmen on a mission to find North America's top hunting and fishing outfitters. The ones that create the unforgettable adventures and bring us that trophy of a lifetime.
Totally stoked.
Each week, one member of our dream team hits the road in an F-Series truck in a search of the hardest working men and women in the outdoors. This is The Outfitters. Once a rowdy railroad town in the heart of cotton country, nearly 2 centuries later, things move at a slower pace these days in Greenville, Alabama. Located 45 minutes south of the capital of Montgomery, Greenville is home to 8,000 residents, many of whom have deep roots in Dixie, like outfitter John Shirley.
My family's been in this area for many generations, and I've lived here my entire life. I grew up loving the outdoors. I loved the farm, I loved animals, and I loved hunting. I feel very proud of this area. It's a wonderful area to come visit. Whether you're a hunter or just other recreation, there are lots of things to be had here in Greenville, Alabama. My father introduced me to bird hunting, small game when I was young, and I fell in love with it then, and I still am now.
As both a cattle rancher and an outfitter, controlling the predator population on his property is advantageous to both of John's enterprises.
Coyotes love livestock. These cows are having calves, and the younger animals are easier prey for the coyotes. And that's why we're trying to control them around here. That's why we have a year-round season. There's no closed season for coyotes. You can hunt them with electronic calls. Anytime during the daytime, you can hunt coyotes. As an outfitter, it's nice to have that option. When deer season's over, turkey season's over, you can still hunt hogs and you can still hunt coyotes. And it's a good thing. It's controlling the problem. The landowners don't mind you taking the coyotes at all. Looks like it'll be a good spot. Got Fred coming in, and going to try to set up here early in the morning and get a shot at the coyote. Looks like a very likely spot for him to be coming in, and the sun will be just right. It's wrong this afternoon, but it'll be right for the morning. The hogs naturally is what they do to the ground. They root looking for food, so they're unearthing seedlings, they damage timberland, they damage farmland certainly. They make pasture land so rough it's hard to ride over it. You tear up equipment. They just do a lot of damage. They become a nuisance animal, and they're very widespread. If you can hunt them in certain areas, then you can keep them under control. The hog hunting extends my season, adds a little revenue, and plus it helps control the population.
The old outdoors adage, "You should have been here yesterday," applies as Fred arrives in the all-new Ford F-150 to darkening skies and a gloomy forecast for the days ahead.
When I got to camp, I met John here at Indian Creek. How you doing?
Hey man,
Fred Eichler.
good to see you, Fred. John Shirley.
Good to see you,
Welcome
man.
to Alabama.
Thanks for having me out here.
Looks like we're gonna get a little rain. You wanna
I noticed that.
get your gear, and I'll show you where you'll be staying?
Sounds great. Basically, we're mainly after hogs, but if we have time, we're gonna go after some coyotes too.
As soon as Fred got here, and we had just a second to catch up, I figured out pretty quick that he loved to hunt as much as I do. We had decent weather that first day and didn't know what we were going to get on the end. So I said, hey, if you're game, let's go this afternoon. And he was all for it.
Coming up on The Outfitters, even diehard hunter Fred Eichler has his breaking point, and after a long, wet, uneventful sit waiting for a hog, he opts for a walk in the rain instead. With the burgeoning predator population threatening his calves, John Shirley has found the right man for the job of culling coyotes. The Outfitters is brought to you by the all-new 2015 Ford F-150. A weather window opens, and Fred Eichler and John Sherling are on the move.
So you told me to bring my tree stand harness, so I assume I'm in a tree stand tonight? Is that what
Tonight I got you going up in a climber.
Okay.
It's kind of an old logging road in the woods. Real pretty, but the hogs are using it. They're traveling through there. You know, hopefully we'll get something done. It just seems like we've got some weather coming in the next day or two. And
It's just up here?
yes, we go down a dirt road, maybe a mile, and then you know, I'm gonna drop you off, ease you in there real quiet, and I'm gonna get out of there.
All right, well, I'm excited.
Tree stand hunting is a game with many variables. Time of day, weather, and wind direction chief among them. An outfitter makes an educated guess on how these factors will affect animal movement and selects the best stand location for his client. From there, it's a waiting game.
I came in here to check a game camera about 10 o'clock in the morning, and I walked up on about a 200-pound boar hog, and then there was a real thin-colored sow there with about 8 pigs. So I feel sure that that sow and those pigs will be back in here. It's just a good area, a lot of food in there, and an area that they like to sort of root and stage there. It's beautiful, but you can see it's spring here in Alabama. It's really thick. We can't see very far, so the pigs could get on us really quickly.
The anticipation builds as dusk spurs hog movement, and Fred is on high alert.
Man, I sat there and didn't see a thing. Had a blast, though. It was beautiful in those woods, but nothing showed up. Next morning, we got up about 4 o'clock. I think we left at 4:30 in the morning to get out there and get set up and head back to the same tree stand I had tried the evening before.
We slipped into this spot this morning in the dark. As we were getting to the tree stand, I could hear pigs in front of me. We could hear them rooting around in the brush. So the pigs were here this morning. We got to the tree stand. We haven't seen anything since. It's only been light for about 20 minutes. We're hoping that they come back in.
Right away, we realized that there's a lot of pigs here. You could see the sign everywhere, but pigs are mobile, so the pigs were moving around. It was a matter of us getting into the same spot at the same time the pigs were there.
You know, we had some shade in there, and I felt like the hogs would be comfortable moving in that shade. They're trying to avoid the heat right now. They don't do well in heat. We decided that with it as hot as it was and the way things were changing with the pigs, they were moving from one place to another, we thought we might try our luck at doing some coyote hunting.
En route to the lodge to quickly retool for coyotes, the skies turn ominous. The storm gains momentum, and the rain arrives in sheets, drenching the country and any hopes of resuming the hunt. Lost time means added pressure for the outfitter, but he's bound and determined to get his client into the game. Rain-soaked roads lead from the lodge to a favorite coyote haunt, and the outfitter remains optimistic.
We got up bright and early. We got in a beautiful spot. Everything looked like it was going in our favor.
An 80-acre cut in the otherwise dense forest makes ideal hunting grounds for coyotes. Fred and John set up on a natural ground blind.
Animals usually don't like bad weather any more than humans do. They don't have to come out when it's raining. They just stay in. But hey, you know, you never know until you try. You know, when you're hunting something, it makes itself scarce. We set up in 2 or 3 places, just every spot. I thought, hey, how can this miss?
Ignoring the relentless rainfall, John and Fred move to another blind location and stick to the game plan. In such conditions, perseverance is a hunter's greatest ally. That, and a good sense of humor.
All right, we're ready now.
Let's do this.
Undeterred by weather, Fred and John remain vigilant in the blind. Will their patience and determination be rewarded?
Yeah, this damn coyote howl.
And later, Fred resumes his mission to rid the area of destructive hogs when the Outfitters returns.
Oh, this looks great.
With the odds stacked against them in the toughest of hunting conditions, two kindred souls resume the trail.
You can hear how hard the rain is in the trees, so the call's not carrying quite as far in the trees as I'd like. And you know, when it's rainy like this, a lot of times predators are just gonna lay up. It's a tough time of year. It's spring. A lot of the coyotes have pups right now, so we're really trying to call the males in. It's a tough gig, but John was game. I said, well, let's go have some fun. Let's go see if we can call in a coyote despite the weather.
Yeah, this damn coyote howl.
Well, it was our third setup, and you know, John's an outfitter. He has to hunt no matter what the conditions are. I'm a hunter. I love to hunt no matter what's going on. And we're just getting ready to go, and a coyote starts howling next to us. And they do that a lot if they're educated or if they've smelled you or spotted you. So that coyote was just letting us know, hey, I'm here, but you're not gonna get me today.
I'm always of the mindset, be optimistic. Hunt until your time is up. Hey, you gotta take what you get. You know, the weather's one thing you can't control. You know, we're gonna stick with it. You know, Fred's game and I'm game, and we're gonna turn it around.
A new day brings renewed hope, but the tough conditions persist.
Today's hunting, no better than yesterday's hunting. Yesterday we had the rain to contend with. Today it's just hot and muggy. I just think they're just disinterested right now.
It's hot, and it's the hardest time of year to call coyotes. But we're not giving up. We're gonna stay after it.
We were changing setups, and we were going to the next place on foot. Fred sees something up ahead, and
I spotted a skunk, which is kind of cool because usually they're out at night. They're mostly nocturnal. So I started just calling to him with my mouth, and the skunk looked and started coming right up to us, ended up getting like 20 feet away. It was kind of cool. The coyote hunting was slow. Hey, I guess you could say we got skunked.
you know, as an outfitter, you get frustrated when you can't produce. That's the worst feeling in the world. You lay awake at night trying to figure out what am I doing wrong or what can I do better.
John opts to take a different route back to the lodge and discovers evidence of recent hog activity.
Man, look at that. I see what you mean.
See if any of it's very fresh.
They've torn up this field, though.
Yeah, they were wearing it out, but there's more right back up in there.
Yeah. See, and that's tearing up good grass for the cattle.
Yeah, exactly.
Back at the lodge, Fred and John find what they're looking for.
Hey, Fred, this is what the game cam had on it.
Look at all that.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of pigs coming in there.
Yeah.
Look at that big rascal.
That one's a boar, but this one right here, I believe this one's a female. She is tremendous. That's a giant. Well, they're really working this area. I feel like maybe we give this a whirl this afternoon.
Sounds great. I'm ready. Whatever you say, man.
Okay. That's what we're after.
I'd shoot that one.
Coming up, Fred finally gets his chance at an Alabama hog, but will the decision to trade rifle for bow be the right one? On a hunt with few opportunities, he can ill afford to squander this one.
Like any outfitter, getting ready for season is a lot of work. We're scouting, setting up backcountry camps, and hauling gear. It's a great opportunity to test out the all-new 2015 Ford F-150. Welcome to the Built Tough Field Test. All right, you know how to get to this gate, right?
Yes, sir.
All right, so I want you to see this. I've set breadcrumbs. If you can get to this gate, then you can follow these breadcrumbs and it'll take you anywhere we're gonna go today. So it's kind of a maze of different little roads in here.
Right.
So that way you'll be able to come back with or without me.
Perfect. Boy, Fred, this is getting awful steep on this edge, buddy.
It's ugly on that one side, isn't it?
Yeah, it sure is.
You know what, I think I'm gonna stop right here and throw it in the forward low.
I think that's a good call. Should we engage the camera so we can see what's around us here?
There we go.
Nice. My nature is to look off to the side, but I guess you don't really need to do that, do you?
Justin, I think this is our spot right here.
All right, what's next?
To see what happens, log on to thefordoutfitters.com.
Enter for your chance to win the official ride of the Outfitters, the all-new 2015 Ford F-150 with EcoBoost, or win one of 4 perfect weekend adventures designed by the Outfitters hosts. The game cameras have revealed an area of increased hog activity on the back reaches of John's property. Fred and John go to investigate. Crossing a creek, they set course for a ground blind in a tucked-away meadow.
Yeah, I see the blind you've got set up.
Yeah. Well, I've looked at a lot of spots, and this spot looks like it's the most promising, the freshest sign. This sign gets cold real quick. A lot of it on this terrace, and I don't know what they found, but they like it. You know, hogs are there one day and they're gone the next. But this place, they're here now.
That's just under 100. And I appreciate you setting it up, and that'd be a great rifle shot.
Yeah.
But you know what I'm thinking? It's 47 yards to that tree over there. And if they come in this 30 to 50 yard range, I think I could take one with a compound. So I'd leave the rifle at home, take the compound, and see if we can shoot one with a bow.
That'll work.
Is that all right?
Hey, man.
I'm
Here to
excited.
please.
All
Here to
right,
please.
well,
We're
let's
gonna
do that.
move that blind.
You know, John's got a lot of game here, but I'll tell you, this area, as far as what we've seen for hogs, this has got more sign than anywhere else. I'm pretty excited about this area. There's hog rooting all here behind me, hog rooting over in this pasture, over in this pasture. I think I could make this shot with the compound if he moves the blind over here to this other area.
We've got a lot of water in some of this low areas. We've got a little break in it now, but we're gonna get some more rain tonight. You know, that might even help these hogs come out a little earlier. It's gonna cool it off a little bit, and they like it comfortable too. They're in here, they'll be back. As we headed out for the afternoon hunt, we knew we had some weather on the way.
John had gone through the trouble of moving the blind around for me. I had my compound, but literally as we pulled out of the lodge, it was already raining. I was worried about what it was gonna do to the movement of the pigs. I thought, man, this may be messing our whole evening up.
Fred's a pretty tough cookie. We eased on across the field in the rain, slipped in and got in position in that blind.
We crawl in there and it just downpours. It starts just pouring rain.
About the time we got in the blind, it started flooding. So it would just sit and wait.
Well, after a couple hours, you look up on this ridge and there's this huge black object.
That's a huge boar. He's a giant boar hog. He's nipping those seed heads off that grass like wild oats or something. It looks like a calf. Yeah, it's big. Looks like he's coming this way, doesn't it?
It took probably the best part of an hour for him to work his way our way. He was just taking his time, maybe getting some blackberries. Those things were starting to get ripe, but he was easing our way the whole time.
He's probably 150 yards right now. We first saw him, he was probably 300 yards. He's a nasty joker. That's a big old beaver. Yeah, he's coming right on in.
As this pig came in, I was super confident. I had taken a few practice shots. My bow was right on. I was like, man, if this thing gets in, you know, that 40 yards or under, I'm really confident I can make a great shot. As the pig comes in, I'm waiting for my angle. I draw my bow. When I shot, I don't know what happened. It could have been a myriad of things.
He didn't know what hit him. It glanced off his back.
My knot could have blown up. My arrow might not have been seated on my rest properly. I don't know what happened, to be perfectly honest. I may even hit the top of the blind. Now, I'm embarrassed, but at the same time, I'm wondering what happened.
If that crazy thing comes back, that'll be the wildest thing I've ever seen.
I'm thinking, no way. All of a sudden, me and John realized the pig's over there near where my arrow, after skipping off his back, had landed.
Oh my gosh.
This is a great example of how smart these animals are. This big boar got a whiff of my arrow and took off. We watched him run right out of our lives.
Hey, don't give up yet. Oh, I'm not giving up. I'm irritated.
The rain was coming down. The clock was ticking. You know, we thought we had missed the perfect opportunity. I mean, it was just a heartbreaker, really. But Fred kept it together and kept his chin up, and luck would have it, here came some more hogs.
Man, this has been a pretty tough hunt. We've had a lot of weather conditions. The other place that I tried, we didn't have anything come in. I'm looking at the clock and I'm running out of daylight.
There were 4 about 100-pounders and then 1 great big one.
I'm not a trophy hunter. The first little pig that comes in, I'm like, oh yeah. I start to lift my bow, and John, he wants to see me get the biggest pig possible. And he's like,
Fred, wait on the big one.
I settle my pin right on the crease of this pig's shoulder, and the pig turns and is facing me. It's not giving me the shot.
He waited on that big one. He was drawn, and I don't know how long he had to stay drawn, but it seemed like an eternity.
Finally, the pig starts to turn and gives me almost a broadside shot. I know I've got to tuck it in kind of close to the shoulder. Pigs have a huge shield, so I don't want to hit the shoulder or I won't get the penetration I need.
Good shot. She's got it in her.
As soon as I shoot that arrow, I felt great about it. The bow sounded normal and the arrow hit right where I was looking.
She's down. Let's go look at a pig.
It was a perfect hit. This is probably a 240-pound hog. It ran about 40 yards, hit the ground.
That was awesome. Thanks, man. I do not know what happened on the first shot.
It was completely dead when we got there.
Dude, thank you so much.
Fred, great job, great job.
Thank you. So, well, the second shot was a great job.
Hey, it was, but you know, persistence pays off.
That's right, that's
Persistence
right.
pays off.
Well, I feel good that we're helping you out. I've been looking at these pastures and I see why you have so many problems here. I mean, these pigs are destroying some of these beautiful pastures. Got the light? Thanks, sir. A lot of people don't realize how great these are to eat. We've got some incredible pig meat now. I mean, I'm gonna have a roast off of this sucker. I guarantee, wrapped in bacon. Butter. Man, let's get out of here, huh? Woo! Onions. I'm getting hungry. Can you tell I'm hungry?
Next week on The Outfitters, adventure angler Conway Bowman takes the Super Duty to Michigan to tackle Great Lakes salmon.
Double bend